So almost everybody who calls me who's interested in moving to the area for Central Florida wants to live by Disney. They want the lifestyle, they want the opportunity, they want the access to the parks and the restaurants and the excitement of being in that area. From the top or from a distance, it may look like all of the family areas in Orlando look the same, but in reality, they couldn't be more different. My goal here is not to tell you what's best, but for me to help you figure out what's best for you. When you're researching areas around Central Florida, Winter Park may be coming up as one of the best areas for a family. It's an absolutely beautiful area, but it may not be the best area for you. I'm going to walk you through some other areas and tell you why there may be other parts of Orlando that may be a better fit for you and your family. So Orlando is not just one area. Orlando is made up of many different areas. You have beautiful communities that are family-oriented that are in the southwest part of town, on the east part of town, in the Longwood, Lakefront, Seminole County area, in Winter Park as well. It's really important to understand the nuances of all of these different communities and how that may interconnect with what you and your family's needs are. Imagine you're looking at a clock face, and right in the middle is downtown Orlando. And then you have all of these communities that surround Orlando in the circle, right? So to the north, at your 12 o'clock, you would have your Longwood, Lakefront area, right? So it's Seminole County, easy access to downtown through I-4. We have the express lanes. Traffic is not as bad as it once was, so that's a nice improvement for us. And then off to the east, if you imagine that Orlando would be like maybe your 3 o'clock, you've got Oviedo, also in Seminole County. Beautiful community, very close to the University of Central Florida. Great housing options out there and excellent schools as well. So to the south, at 6 o'clock, you've got your Windermere Winter Garden area, right? So that's more to the west of town. Winter Garden, beautiful area, surrounded by lakes everywhere. The Butler Chain of Lakes is one of the greatest features down there. And you may know with the Windermere area, you may be familiar with Isleworth Country Club. We've got a lot of celebrities and athletes that live down in that area. Absolutely stunning area to be in and very close to Disney as well. And then off to basically your east of the Orlando area, you're gonna find Winter Park. Now, Winter Park is an older area, beautiful tree-lined streets, brick tree-lined streets. You've got Rollins College there, luxury homes, shopping, along with some of the best restaurants in town. But this video is about the best areas for families who may be relocating to Central Florida. And although all of these areas are absolutely wonderful, I find oftentimes that relocating customers are looking for schools, which are so important to them, so they often end up in the Seminole County area. So I also find that when people are reaching out to me, they've done a little bit of research on their own. So they may be familiar with Seminole County, the Lake Mary, Longwood area, know how great our schools are. And I also have a lot of the same requests for the property type, a 4-bedroom home with a dedicated office, 3 baths, pool, easy commute to the attractions or downtown. And that Lake Mary, Longwood area offers all of that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the Longwood and Lake Mary area. We're also going to dive into these 4 other areas, and I want to give you a good picture of how each one of these areas may stack up against one another and why one or the other may be best for you and your family. So for each area, we're going to cover the costs, the neighborhood vibe, and what's the livability of the neighborhood for you? What's the entertainment opportunities, restaurants, shopping, sports for the kids, along with the commute and the cost. Let's talk about costs and what your different options are, right? Lots of different housing options in the Lake Mary, Longwood area. You can get a beautiful home that's been updated in Longwood for a 4-bedroom with 3-bath, pool, great neighborhood. We have some neighborhoods that even have some lake access around here that's deeded into your property. You may have an entry-level price point of $450 to $500 to homes that are well into the $2 million. So my clients looking in this area often land in the $750 to $1 million bucket. Just provides them a lifestyle community often. I mean, by a lifestyle community, you'll see something that includes some really nice amenities for the kids. You may have tennis courts, you may have a pool within the community. You may also have a golf course. Most of the golf courses here are not part of your community in terms of your homeowners association fees, but you have the ability to join the club and enjoy that as a resource also, which is not only great for the kids, but it's a great way for the adults to meet each other too. So that kind of covers the neighborhood vibes in this area for you. Now let me tell you a little bit about the schools and why people are drawn to the schools. Here in Seminole County, we have one of the best school systems in the state. We're often ranked at the very top. We have great high schools. Elementary schools have a nice neighborhood feel. and our middle school areas are usually adjacent to our high schools, which makes it easier for the parents. We also have a very good system of charter schools. So we have the charter schools where it's the kind of the elective opportunity to go to those schools and maybe focused on theater or the arts. Let's talk now a little bit about the Winter Park area. So Winter Park, wow, in a quick sentence, how do I describe this quaint area for you? It gives you that old world Florida kind of charm, oak-lined brick streets that are wide, historic buildings. Rollins College has a gorgeous historic campus there as well. Great schools in the area. And when I'm working with folks who are looking for Winter Park, this is what I often find they're looking for. They're still looking for that 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a pool, but that bucket in Winter Park is going to fall north of $1 million in most cases to possibly $2 million to find something that's renovated. Winter Park, the homes are a little bit older. There is some new construction, which tends to be on the contemporary side, and it's definitely not a cookie-cutter community. No two homes really look alike, which is part of its charm. So what's the compromise to be in Winter Park? You get all this great walkability to Park Avenue. The compromise when you're purchasing a home, it's going to be a little bit more money, price per square foot, and it's also probably going to be a compromise on square footage. You might not even have a garage. Let's talk about school options for Winter Park. Also, really strong school system, and it's part of the Orange County public school system there if you wanted to use public. But there are a lot of private school options in Winter Park as well that are very convenient to the area and an easy commute. So anything from your private Catholic schools to some prep schools. What immediately comes to mind is, Trinity Prep is out on the east side of Winter Park, and then you have Lake Highland Prep, which is an easy commute as well, which honestly is such a gorgeous campus, it looks like a college campus itself. And most of the time, my clients that are buying in Winter Park are drawn to those private options because they may have been relocating from an area where they were already accustomed to a private school system. Okay, now let's talk about our next community that people may be interested in moving to, and that's the Winter Garden, Windermere area. If we're taking a look at that clock we were referencing, it's going to be like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock to the south of Orlando. And I really want to focus first on the Winter Garden area for you, since we just talked about Winter Park, because it's oftentimes confusing that we have so many communities that start with winter, even though we're here summer all year long, right? So Winter Garden is a great area to the south of Orlando, easy access with highways for a commute to the Orlando area metro or even out to the parks. So you'll have easy access to the 429 along with the 528, which then will run you also out into the Florida Turnpike, which takes you all the way through the center of the state. Winter Garden boasts great schools also and a lot of private and public options. It's in Orange County. And also in Winter Garden, you're going to find a lot more new construction than you may see in the other areas we've highlighted so far. Within Winter Garden, you're going to find some communities that are master plan communities, very large communities that feel like small cities in themselves and have great amenities as well. In terms of like the neighborhood vibe of Winter Garden, it has a great little historic downtown area, fun restaurants, some craft breweries, some great bookstores for the kids to hang out in, and a good stroll on a Sunday afternoon. So when we talk about costs in Winter Garden, like the typical client that we're looking for. So when I'm referencing typical client, I mean, we see most folks with 2 or 3 children if they're relocating as families in this area. And again, having some space at home, whether it's for homework or home office, is always important. So we still get that same kind of request for that 4-bedroom, 3-bath pool house so they can really enjoy the Florida lifestyle. The Winter Garden area will probably run you'd be in the mid-600s to potentially over $1 million, just deciding on, what community you want to be in and what's most important to you. People who choose Winter Garden are often drawn to the proximity of being close to the parks, right? You're down by Disney Springs, you're by Epcot, by Universal Studios, and all that has to offer. So you really get the opportunity to kind of enjoy the weekend tourist life, but then have your regular life Monday through Friday when you're working and going to school. But what are you giving up, or what are you compromising if you're going to Winter Garden? I mean, certainly you can buy a great house out there for a price point that's similar to some of the areas we've highlighted, but you may find that you have a little bit more traffic because you are closer to the tourist areas. You've heard me reference my clients several times in this video. We're a local real estate team here in the Orlando area, and we'd love the opportunity to earn your business. Call, text, or drop us a line. Let's talk now about Windermere, Florida. What a beautiful place. So Windermere is very sprawling. Butler Chain of Lakes is very famous for many of the homes in Windermere are lakefront properties. And with lakefront comes price. So you'll find that Windermere is one of the pricier areas in our Orlando. It'll deliver that ultra luxury for you. And in Windermere, we're at about 7 to 8 o'clock on that clock, just to kind of give you an idea of where it is. An easy commute also to downtown, you're close to our luxury mall, the Mall of Millennia. You're close to world-class shopping and golf, which is very important for some of our clients relocating. Now, what is Windermere? The vibe? Very small town, kind of just one street in and one street out, but you are very close to everything else. And in Windermere, what are you looking for in a 4-bedroom, 3-bath pool house? Well over $1.5 million. Windermere schools, from a public standpoint, are also part of the Orange County Public School District, have great ratings in the Windermere area. And for private options, you have Windermere Prep in that area also, but it's an easy enough commute to get to some of your prep schools in Orlando too. Finally, to round out our 5 areas that we often find people relocate to when they're coming from out of the area as families, we're going to talk a little bit about Oviedo. Oviedo is in Seminole County, far east in Seminole County, so you're going to be at 3 o'clock if you're looking at that clock face, right? And in Oviedo, you have great access to UCF, which is our local university, University of Central Florida. Go Knights. For housing in Oviedo, you may be wondering, what is that relative 4-bedroom, 3-bath house with a pool, kind of where does that bucket you in Oviedo? You may get a little bit more money in Oviedo than some of the areas we've talked about. So it could range anywhere from maybe in the 500s to, just tipping up to $1 million in the Oviedo area. Good access, a lot of great infrastructure in terms of parks, public parks, tennis center, aquatic center. Oviedo has a lot to offer. Fun fact about Oviedo, they have a charming little downtown area, and it is legal to have wild chickens. I guess to round this all out, to make sure that we've talked about all the areas that we're highlighting here today, I don't want to forget to talk about schools in Oviedo. So Oviedo school options from a public standpoint are Seminole County schools. Excellent rated schools. I do often find people are very drawn to the Oviedo area because they can get a little bit more for the money, and they have excellent schools as a result too. Again, this video is not to tell you what's the best area. It's just to highlight all of the different options that Orlando has to offer for relocating families. I'd love the opportunity to share more with you, and I'd love the opportunity to earn your business. Feel free to call, text, or email anytime so we can have a chat live, and I can share more about our wonderful Central Florida area and the options that are available to you. Hey, thanks for joining me today. It was really nice to see you all. Please don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll be notified when we have the next video, and I'd love to see you join us again.